Good morning, students. I hope you all are well and doing mathematics comfortably. Today, we will do the last part of intrinsic equation. We have done how to find the intrinsic equation of the curve when its Cartesian equation is given, parametric equation is given, and polar equation is given. Today, we will discuss when the pedal equation of the curve is given, then how to find its intrinsic equations. Let us say. How to find the intrinsic equation of the curve whose pedal equation is given. Equation of curve, you remember, that is 2D Cartesian polar parametric fourth, that is pedal equation. So pedal equation, that means Cartesian in terms of xy, polar r theta, parameter when two variables are in terms of t. Pedal equation, that means the relationship in p and r. What is p? People know that. This is the curve. This is the tangent. Initial line. P are theta coordinates, polar coordinates, and this is the radius vector. You know that this is r, this is theta, this is phi, this is psi, and here we drop the perpendicular, this line, this length. This is 90 degree, this length is p, that is. So OM with respect to this angle, phi, OM upon OP, this is sine phi by trigonometry, and OM, that is P upon R, is sine phi, so P is R sine phi. This basic part we people know that. Now this is the intrinsic equation. That means the relationship in terms of S and psi. Here it is P equals to R sine psi. Therefore, sine phi equals to P upon R. So this is angle phi, this is P, this is R, this is under root of R square minus P square. Therefore, tan phi is P upon under root of R square minus P square. But tan phi is R d theta by dr. We people know that. According to this, we got tan phi is P upon under root of R square minus P square. But tan phi we people know that r d theta by dr. So this implies r d theta by dr equals to p upon under root of r square minus p square. Now we want to find the intrinsic equation, that means the relationship in S and psi. So in anyhow we want to modify the equation in such a way that we find the relationship in S and psi. But what is given? We people are given parallel equation, means the relationship is given in P and R, and we want to convert this equation into S and psi. So you remember all the basic things. What is P? What is R? So here P equals to R sin phi. We found tan phi, but tan phi is given by R d theta by R. So this is given by this formula, and we know that from the calculus ds by dr equals to under root of 1 plus r d theta by dr whole square. So under root of 1 plus, now r d theta by dr is p upon under root r square minus p square. So it is 1 plus r d theta by r whole square of this. So it is p square upon r square minus p square. This implies under root of r square minus p square plus p square upon r square minus p square. This part is cancelled out, and we found this is r upon under root of r square minus p square. Therefore, ds by dr is r upon under root of r square minus p square. ds by dr, this is in terms of polar r and theta. Now here it is purely in terms of p and r. So you people know that ds by dx, ds by dy, ds by dr, ds by d theta, ds by dt, and here it is ds by dr when parallel equation is given, that is r upon under root r square minus p square. So you remember this formula carefully. So this is the derivation. You have to remember, as usual as you have remembered ds by dx, ds by dy, ds by dt. This is ds by dr. We will use this formula when the parallel equation is given. Now we consider one example how to obtain the intrinsic equation of the curve because parallel equation is given. So let us say. Therefore, r under root r square minus p square dr on integrating this are at the length s, and this is from r1 to r2, r upon under root of r square minus p square dr. This you have to remember. Okay. So this is the length of the arc, that is arc length, and here variable is r. Okay. So this formula you have to remember. Find the intrinsic equation, Nell's समीकरण of the curve P equals to R sin alpha. Okay. Find the intrinsic equation of the curve P equals to R sin alpha, and this is hidden equation of the curve. Now P equals to R sin alpha. So if we use this formula, then this formula will not give you, as people know that this will not give you the relationship in S and psi. So we have to modify this one. So I write it here. Now P equals to R sin alpha. This is a constant, remember. Therefore, dr by dp with respect to p, the differentiation, so it is cosec alpha. dp by dr is sin alpha, so dr by dp will be cos alpha. From calculus, rho, that is radius of curvature, वक्र परपेंडिकुलर, this is ds by d psi. Also rho equals to r dr by dp. Remember this. If Cartesian equation is given, then we find dy by dx, and dy by dx is tan psi. You remember, so psi is obtained from that. But here it is in terms of p and r. So you remember this radius of curvature is given by ds by d psi. This we have already done. This is also given by dr by dp. So therefore ds by d psi is r dr by dp, and this is r dr by dp we have already calculated because it is given in terms of p and r. So this is cosec alpha. Here it is. Now this is ds by d psi equals to r cosec alpha, but again this r creates a problem. If we integrate this ds by d psi, then here variable s and psi, but this creates the problem because cosec alpha is constant. So how to eliminate this? Now we will use this part, that is s equals to r1 to r2, because the length of the arc is measured from the given point, and here we consider the point from 0 to r. So the limit will be 0 to r upon under root r square minus p square dr. It is with respect to r. So the whole answer will be in terms of r. Here it is p, so we can write p, the given formula, that is p equals to r sin alpha. So let us complete. Now s equals to 0 to r upon under root r square minus p square dr, that is 0 to r under root of r square minus p square, that is r square sin square alpha dr, because p P equals to R sin alpha. Since this is 0 to R, this is a sec alpha. When you simplify this is sec alpha, so this is 0 to R dr, and this is sec alpha into R, so this is R sec alpha. So S equals to R sec alpha. Here it is. So this implies R equals to S cos alpha. R sec alpha equals to so it is R S upon sec alpha, so it is this. Okay. This is item number 1. So from equation number 1. Therefore, for first, ds by d psi r cosec alpha. So r means s cos alpha into cosec alpha. Okay. So this is cos upon sin is cot, so it is s cot alpha. This implies cot alpha this is 1 upon s cot alpha is constant and d psi. Now we integrate it. Cot alpha d psi, because cot alpha is constant. Okay. This is log s equals to cot alpha. This is psi and plus constant of integration. Suppose I say log c, for example. So this I write little bit simplification. Log s minus log c equals to psi cot alpha. This is s by c of alpha. So this is e, so it is e to the power log s by c equals to psi cot alpha. S by c equals to basis e, so it is e to the power psi cot alpha, and this implies S equals to c e to the power psi cot alpha. This is the required intrinsic equation. Okay. So this is the way to find the intrinsic equation when the pedal equation of the curve is given. So let us revise how to find the intrinsic equation when the pedal equation is given. So you remember to remember. Number 1, R1 to R2 R upon under root of R square minus B square dr. Just like when Cartesian formula is given, it is this one. Second, rho equals to ds by d psi. This you have to remember. Also, rho equals to r dr by dv. This you have to remember. Therefore, ds by d psi equals to r dr by dv. This you can calculate. This is found with the help of deriving. जो वक्र का पदिक समीकरण जो उसका पैडल इक्वेशन दे रखा है, क्योंकि वो P और R में रिलेशनशिप है, वहां से आप dr by dp कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. R आपको यहाँ से सिंप्लीफाई हो जाएगा, यहाँ से आप इसको एलिमिनेट कर लोगे तो यहाँ से S में रिलेशनशिप दे देगा. dr by dp आप इससे एलिमिनेट कर लोगे, तब जाके आपको S और साइन में रिलेशनशिप आएगा. इसलिए जब पैडल इक्वेशन दे रखा हो तो एक तो ये फॉर्मूला ध्यान में रखना, फिर रो के लिए ये वाला पार्ट आपको ध्यान में होना चाहिए, और इसकी हेल्प से आप एलिमिनेट करके उसको कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो. सो दिस पार्ट इज completed. We have completed rectification. Rectification means the process of finding the length of the arc. इसके अलावा हमने इंट्रिंसिक इक्वेशन को कैसे कैलकुलेट किया है वो हमने फाइंड आउट किया है. सो दिस चैप्टर is completed. I hope you have understood. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.